Block party once again, baby, like no other though. Big drink and smoke again, baby. Call everyone you know. Now wave your hands real high up in the sky as we party on the street. And later on, I'm gonna shake the spot with the first sweet thing I meet. I'm real loaded, just taking my time. Baby girl right here is losing her mind. She's all up on me, just working it out. I'm gonna show her what I'm all about. I make my moves real fast like this and like that. So we head upstairs, I grab all my hats. This gangster does this thing and you know. I'll see you later, girl, cause I ain't loving no hoe. Block party once again, baby, like no other though. Big drink and smoke again, baby. Call everyone you know. Now wave your hands real high up in the sky as we party on the street.
Yo, welcome to Purple and SKOL'd Media. It's your boy SK. I am here with Rap, as most of you guys know, and you guys know Realistic Randy too, on the mic here with myself and Rap on Purple and SKOL'd Media. How's it going, fellas?
Good, man.
Sure. It's going good, and I tell you what, even if it wasn't going good, it'd be impossible not to feel good after listening to that music. And what if I want to come in here with some hot takes and call for somebody's job and say that somebody needs to be fired? I can't do that after listening to that. So
hey, you gotta move on. You know, once you move on, you get some new furniture in the house. Just it starts to feel good. It's time to throw a house party, a block party.
That's that real pimp music, man. You know what I mean?
That's legit.
Yeah, we're coming live from the West Coast, East Coast, and no, both y'all are on the East Coast. So East Coast and West Coast, we got both oceans covered on this side, and everybody tapping in Minnesota as well, and Chicago, and all those Midwest states. We love y'all too. We also got Justin tapping in the background. Let me see if I can get his mic on here somehow. Let me see.
Yo.
What's up? I'm gonna get your video off. Let me see.
I like that hat.
I thought you might like that
hat.
That is
yeah,
nice.
I thought you might like it.
Hat fire, man. I like that.
You're not biased or anything, though, but that's all right. How y'all doing today?
We're good. So Justin's gonna kind of handle the comments and everything with you guys. Justin, feel free to tap in whenever. I'm gonna bump you out right now, but he's gonna tap in from time to time. I know he's got some things he wants to comment on and some questions and stuff. So feel free to tap in. He has complete control of these streams. So I appreciate you, Justin, as always. Go follow Purple and Gold for Days, his YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that. But now we get down to the nitty gritty. But Realistic Randy, man, we appreciate you for tapping in, man, on Purple and SKOL'd Media. We know you're a busy guy. You got kids. You got your own channel going. So we appreciate you tapping in, man. We go way back, probably about 5-6 years, almost 7 years, something like that. So we've been in the loop for a minute. So it's always good making content with you. I appreciate you tapping in with us, man. So first question I have for you, man. If you were to just grade the overall offseason thus far, we haven't even been to the draft yet. There's so much more going on. But thus far, what would you grade the Minnesota Vikings offseason?
So far, I'd say C+, B-. And I feel like it's still TBD. There's still more left to be seen. We're already in the second wave of free agency, about to go into the third. the reason why I'm just cutting it down the middle for this team right now is because I was just hoping to see a little bit more aggressiveness. Now, this is besides Byron Murphy. That was a great signing. But after that, think about this. The Lions, their number one problem was they need to boost up their defense. They need to make adds or additions onto their defense. So they went out and signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Emmanuel Mosey, Cam Sutton. They didn't mess around, right?
Nope,
they got after it. So you look at the Vikings after the season was over with, the main issues was defense and interior offensive line. All right, you signed Byron Murphy. After that, okay, you restructured Jordan Hicks. You're bringing Hitman back. But what other, besides Byron Murphy, what other additions are there? Dean Lowry, I mean, okay. Marcus Davenport, if he can have a bounce back year similar to 2021, that'd be great, but it's still a lot of unknowns left there. And then interior offensive line. What did you do there? We got a blocking tight end and Josh Oliver, I tell you. So I just feel like it. So
and we were quick to sign him too.
That was the first signing. That was the first signing in free agency. So
but let's not forget Johnny Munt was the first signing last season too, wasn't he?
I mean, yeah, I can't recall, but Johnny Munt is still there. So you only have TJ Hawkinson and Johnny Munt. Do you really need Josh Oliver? And that's more of a luxury. Why can't let's make sure the interior offensive line is set? But it looks like, especially after you re-sign Garrett Bradbury, it looks like they're just going to run it back and hope things change.
Yeah.
Oh, you think we're running it back? You're on that point, Randy?
That's what it's looking like.
Ooh. Yeah. That's how you're feeling too, Rap, to run it back?
With the interior, like with the offensive line, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like I don't really see them making any moves on that for sure. You know, I would be okay with trading Ezra Cleveland if we could get something for him, but I don't think that's happening either. You know what I mean? I just think we're gonna keep what we got.
So you guys would have more confidence in Ed Ingram over Ezra Cleveland? Not that I'm picking Ezra Cleveland over Ed Ingram, but you guys are more confident just off the age and just him being able to progress over the years to be that guard. So you believe in Ingram a little more than Ezra?
Well, we need two. We need two of them, but yeah, I do. I think Ingram probably has a higher ceiling than Ezra. I think Ezra's already met, like he's there. You know what I mean? Where he is who he is. You know what I mean?
He's met his ceiling.
Yeah, he's banging his head on his ceiling for sure. He's banging.
I mean, he was a tackle in college, but you know how we like to do.
I think he would get demolished that tackle in the NFL. Like straight up.
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know, man. He's athletic as hell. He can move out in space, man. And he can stay in front of his man. But trying to block the strongest dudes in the league, interior defensive line, that's just not for him.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't believe in any of them dudes in the interior. I can understand why Ed Ingram, you could say it was his rookie year, so give him another shot. But man, I just saw Isaac Seumalo from the Eagles. He signed with the Steelers 3 years, I believe, $24 million.
Yeah, super cheap.
My God, coming from the best offensive line in the league last year, so we couldn't match that. Yeah. My goodness. But let's get Josh Oliver. All right, cool.
And it's crazy because this all ties into Kirk Cousins, right? So we knew he got hit a lot last season, and like we're not doing anything that's going to tell us anything that something different's going to happen this season. It's going to be the same results for the most part. You know what I mean? You got the same people blocking. Mm-hmm. So I could see it being the same type of season where he's getting pressure all the time.
So what would you grade the offseason thus far, Rat? They got your guy Byron Murphy.
Yeah, they did get Byron Murphy, so that's going to definitely make me give him a B- for sure. I give him a B-. Just
B-?
I think Byron Murphy, that move right there is going to play a big part in the defense. Like I think he's going to have a absolutely amazing season, bro. Like for real. Like I really like that pickup. That's a splash play right there.
So the B- is strictly off the Byron Murphy.
He raised it to that. He raised it to that. I ain't gonna lie. He raised it to that.
That's the cheat code. That's the cheat code.
That's the cheat code for RAP, man. I'm gonna keep it real.
No, and the best thing about that is that I mean Justin came in like a madman while me and Rap were on live saying, Rap, you're not gonna believe it. Byron Murphy, he signed with the Vikings, so we got to do that live on air.
And to add to that though, SK and Randy, not just the Byron Murphy, but just as well as cutting ties with some of these older players that we fell in love with. You know what I mean? Like those are big moves to make, man, and probably hard moves to make. You know what I'm saying? Those are hard moves to make too for a GM. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and you would have to place those under the positives of this offseason. Because I mean, look, we love Adam Thielen. We know he's the hometown guy. He's gonna retire a Minnesota Viking, regardless of the nonsense he's spewing right now in Carolina. Nonetheless, but it was the right move. We can't pay Adam. What was it, $19 million or something like that? There was no way in hell we were gonna pay Adam Thielen $19 million. Then you look at a guy like, I mean, it hasn't been done yet. But the Dalvin Cook situation, we're not going to be paying Dalvin Cook $14 million and then paying Alexander Mattison another, 2.5 this year, I think it was. There's no way. So something else has got to happen with Dalvin Cook. And again, we love Dalvin Cook. It's not to the extent of maybe an Adam Thielen because of the hometown vibes and everything, but we love Dalvin Cook. We have nothing against his play. It's his price tag. And it's just not matching with the direction of what this team is going in. And the moves that Kwesi's making, I feel like it's headed in that direction. Like, we have a vision, especially if we go out and I'm going to get you guys started, especially if we go out and draft a quarterback.
Randy don't want a quarterback this draft, though.
No, it's not that I don't want.
I don't want to reach. That's my thing. I don't want to reach. I think the draft could sway the offseason, obviously. If you have a great draft, then we could be looking and Rap can be saying, hey, we got an A offseason, and Randy can say, we got a B+ offseason. So that could change in about a month from now. But I just think if you go out there and you get a quarterback, and you guys know firsthand, like, I'm not a Kirk hater. I'm not the biggest Kirk supporter either, but Kirk's my quarterback until he's not my quarterback. But if you go out there and draft a quarterback this year in the draft, whether it's Will Levis, which now they're talking about him being the number 1 overall pick, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's just smoke. But
absolutely.
But say we trade up in the teens and grab a Will Levis, regardless of what you feel about Will Levis, or I don't want to draft Hendon Hooker in the first round, but say you go back and trade back and get him in the second round, or maybe he falls to the third round and grab him. Then you have somewhat of a vision for the future of this franchise. You're looking at it like, okay, well, it looks like we may have the quarterback of the future. He's going to be sitting a year behind Kirk more than likely. You know, we still got Justin Jefferson. We're going to have TJ Hawkinson for a while. You're going to hopefully draft a young wide receiver too, which, you know, the only options in free agency right now for a wide receiver to pair with Justin Jefferson are Odell Beckham. Jarvis Landry, I think, is still available. You can promote KJ Osborne to wide receiver too, and I don't know how many people are comfortable with that. I love KJ, but I don't think he's, you know, the type of wide receiver two we need on the opposite side of Justin Jefferson. But, you know, where else are you going to go? So I think we're going to draft a young receiver as well, and that gives us a vision. I think drafting a quarterback would change that, but if I were to grade the offseason thus far, I would probably give it a C. It's kind of been uneventful for me. Yeah.
Coming from you, that is crazy because you're Mr. Optimistic.
I'm telling you.
Much as it gets. So I thought you were about to say, well, it's actually an A-.
No. It's like an A- and they'll get to an A+, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the moves, but like I feel like if we're gonna get rid of Dalvin Cook, let's rip the Band-Aid off. Unless we're somehow just waiting a little bit to see if that trade value goes up or if we can work out a trade.
Yo, how do you have the lowest grade? That's wild, right?
That is crazy.
I don't know. Maybe my grading scale is different than you guys.
Yeah.
but I'm tough. Like it's. I like to see what our future is going to look like, and if we don't go out there and we have a lackluster draft, kind of like what we did last year. Sorry, Kwesi. Then I'm looking at it like, this offseason is looking like a C- a D. But that could turn into a B+ if you have a good draft. So
I'm nervous about that aspect, the draft part, because I'm hoping that he learned his lesson, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, from last year. Because, that trade with the Lions, man, where they gave up their second-round pick as well. And I just said, are you kidding me? What are you doing? You could have got Jordan Davis or Jameson Williams. Clearly,
Hamilton.
Clearly, they didn't want either of those players. So, okay, but you lost so much value. And I guess the one of the issues that I have with analytics, and maybe it's just not analytics just baseline, but the people that are overly aggressive about it as far as they try to get out ahead of it and say, no, don't be upset. This is actually great. You remember after that trade last year, Rap SK with the Lions? Oh my God. Analytically speaking, the trade value and the graphs and the charts and all that stuff, the Vikings actually won that trade. I'm like, are you effing kidding? What are you talking about?
No.
Hell out of my face. That was terrible. So I'm hoping that now we can address what we need to address. If you want to do best player available, okay, fine, in the first round. But, man, wide receiver 2, defensive line, maybe a quarterback. You got to at least make some moves, not just for the now, but also in the future. Bro, if we go into that draft and we trade down from 23 down to 60 and then give up 87 as well or something stupid, bro, I'm going to – I don't know if I even have the energy to get pissed off anymore, but that I think if he has a really good draft, for me, it will go from a C+ to, maybe a B+ or an A, depending on.
And that's something I talked about last night too during the show, where I said like the past 2 times where we stayed where we were and just picked the player that was available that we had faith in was Justin Jefferson and Christian Darrisaw, right? Look at those 2 names. You know what I mean? So
no, we traded back for Christian Darrisaw, didn't we?
Yeah, we traded back a couple spots, but we still stayed in the first, though, is what I'm saying. I know a lot of people want to trade out of the first, and I'm like, listen, man, we need to get a good football player, man. Like, for real. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact of building up capital at some points, but I just feel like we need to get a guy that can start right away, hopefully, in this year's draft at 23. Now, I know we're against the wall not having a second round pick, but still, man, I just want a good football player. Like, I feel like if we get an instant starter, I don't mind not having a second if we can get a guy that jumps in there and can impact the game like one of the wide receivers or something, for sure.
Well, yeah, the first round pick is got to be an instant starter. That's why you're a first round pick. You can't draft a guy in the first round and say, oh, well, you're not going to play. Lewis Cine, which obviously he got injured, but before he got injured, he was just on special teams. Yeah. They weren't playing him. So we're kind of on that same, like, Mike Zimmer, express of we don't play rookies, which I don't know if it was confidence in Cam Bynum. But if you have that much confidence in Cam Bynum, why draft a safety in the first round? That's where I'm confused. But this isn't about the 2022 draft. This is about the 2023 offseason and draft. Right. But I don't see us staying at 23 unless somehow – a playmaking cornerback falls to us, possibly a playmaking wide receiver falls to us, or one of those quarterbacks fall to us. I don't see us sitting there. I could see us trading up, and I could definitely see us trading down just off the fact that we don't have that second round pick. And you have a pick at 23, which you're right at that kind of fringe of, hey, you can go back, grab a second round pick, and probably grab another third round pick. Do we have 2 third round picks this year, or is it just one?
I think it's just 187.
Is it just one?
If I'm not mistaken.
So you can add another third round pick to the one you already have, and you're looking at a second round pick with 2 thirds. And if you need to trade into the second round, if you like a guy like Hendon Hooker, if he's still available, you have the draft capital to do that, while at the same time still grabbing a guy probably early in the second round that could be or should be a day one starter, hopefully on that defensive line, maybe a wide receiver 2. We don't know, or maybe, who knows, maybe a linebacker, and we cut Jordan Hicks before the start of the season. We don't know. So I think there's a lot of things that could happen with this draft, but just percentage-wise.
They gave Jordan Hicks a contract, didn't they?
They restructured him. He took
a pay cut. It was a pay cut. But I think the way it's structured, it gives them an out before the season starts. So say it comes to training camp, they're like, hey, look, Jordan's been great, but we got a young guy that we're going to roll with. You're cut. And I don't think his salary is guaranteed for the season unless he plays first week or something like that. I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, I just think the percentage, I'll ask you guys, the percentages of trading up, staying at 23, and trading back. what would you like break off if you were to make a pie chart of that? Go ahead, Rap or Randy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, go ahead, Randy. You get at him.
I mean, we just have a 1 year sample size off of Kwesi. So if it's anything like it was last year, I would say odds are he's going to trade down. I think they should trade down regardless. If they trade up, it's going to be for a quarterback, which Bryce Young's going to be gone. CJ Stroud, I'm not really a fan of him, but I can understand the hoopla there. But then after that, if you're going to trade up for a quarterback for a Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, then I don't know, man. You better be right, because then you're tying your job security, your future with the organization with this player. So you better be right. But I think they're going to trade down and try to get a second-round pick.
So you're saying chances are we trade down?
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Rap?
I mean, honestly, man, I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to say that we're going to either stay at 23 or we're going to trade up. You know what I mean? Like, that's my...
Oh, so you don't think we're trading down? You think we're trading up or we're taking somebody at 23?
No. Yeah. I think like, honestly, like, I feel like we either going to trade up or we going to stay at 23, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like there might be something happen where we can get a second with Dalvin Cook or Zadarius Smith, like right around the draft time, if there's a trade or something, you know what I mean? Because I know they're talking about that too, still trying to see if we can wheel and deal one of those guys. So you never know. You know what I'm saying? Never know. Might be a package deal. Send both of them somewhere. What can happen, man? Send them, hey, we give you a running back and a pass rusher, man.
Right? Go ahead. Take these salaries.
Still got to pay them, though. Yeah, still got to pay them. They're expensive. This is going to be an expensive package, but hey, give us a second. You know?
Well, like I said, we got our guy Justin working in the background. He has our picks up. Right? Well, he just threw a comment up right now, but he had our picks up. If you guys don't know already, we have the 23rd overall pick in the first. No second round. Our third round pick, we have 87. Fourth round from Detroit, 158. And I think, what did we trade our other fourth round pick for? What was that? Was that we swapped with Detroit, I think, for the Hawkinson trade. I think we swapped and then we gave him a second.
No, we traded a second. Yeah. And that's how I look at it.
And
too.
We swapped Forrest.
And that's how, and that's another, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's how I look at it during the shows when I talk to other people too. I say, like, we have our second round pick. It's TJ Hawkinson. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
a good way of looking at it.
Like if you and I'm sure Kwesi's gonna think like that too. I can see him thinking like that. Like, I know the fans are like, well, we don't have a second round pick, but we got TJ Hawkinson though.
Well, yeah, think of it this way. If we didn't go and trade for TJ Hawkinson, then chances are we'll probably be drafting one of those top tight ends in the first round if he fell to us. That would be a big position.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think there's any player in the second round that I can think of on this year's draft that I can say can come in and is going to produce as much as TJ Hawkinson. So,
yep. Exactly.
You feel good about that.
You just got to pay him. That's
you got to pay him.
That's the kicker, which I don't think we should have any issues with paying TJ.
Yeah, like
Hawkinson.
That's the thing. There's nothing wrong with paying good players, man. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, if they're good players, man, figure it out. You got to pay these guys, man, for sure.
Exactly. So again, I want to side note thank everybody for tapping in. Everybody in the comments. We're actually, I put us live on Purple Pocket Podcast Raps channel as well. So we got some of your subscribers tapping in as well. They love to see Realistic Randy. So when you get a chance, Justin, throw up that super chat for us. I think there we go. There goes the super chat. Too evil to hope. Good looking. He says, "Hi, Rap. Do you think firing Kwesi might happen if he screws up another draft?" I don't think it would happen this year, but hey, if he messes up, if he does what he did last draft, and I ain't gonna lie, he'll definitely be like, there'll be conversation like spiraling around. I can promise you that.
We'll be looking sideways at him for sure, saying,
or they'll be saying, you know what, maybe we need to let somebody else take over the draft process. Like, you do good at it. Maybe when April comes around, Kwesi, how about you kind of just step back a little bit? You know what I mean?
He was big on delegating.
I think especially if they take a quarterback. Let me take that back. If they especially trade up to take a quarterback and it doesn't work out, which we won't know in about 3 years time, then that's when a firing would potentially happen. Not right after.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. Like Randy said, it's more of not only the fan base, but also people in ownership. They're going to start looking at him sideways like, all right, Kwesi, look, we can say what we want to say about Rick Spielman, but Rick Spielman had some home runs of drafts, and he had some really bad drafts, don't get me wrong, but he had some home runs, including Justin Jefferson, regardless of what you say. Oh, well, the Eagles passed on him, so, of course he's going to take him. No, Rick Spielman drafted Justin Jefferson. Rick Spielman drafted Christian Darrisaw. Drafted Brian O'Neill. 3 main staples in your offense and in your franchise right now. So, talk all you want about Rick Spielman, but he's drafted huge franchise players for, like, decade players like Justin Jefferson, guy that we thought we'd never have before or never have again. Guys like Randy Moss, bringing Randy Moss's records. So give him his credit, but I think
he's also done some goofy ass stuff too. That's why he's fired.
Absolutely.
We're not going ignore the F shit too now. Come on.
Hey, come on. Take the good with the bad. We can't just say, well, look at all these great things he's done. Built the statue.
All those
he's done some
wild
picks. Stuff.
All the 7th-round picks he accumulated. Come on, Randy.
We ain't just gonna sweep that other shit up. Rock, man. Hell nah. You made him sound real good just now, man.
A little violin music off that little soliloquy you just had.
Yeah, Rick, come on the show, Rick. Come on the show, Rick. Talk to me, Rick. Come on the show.
Hey, man, I want to give a shout out to Nano, though. He said we got the chosen one on, man. Randy, man, for sure, man.
Randy,
we got to reach out to the real one, man.
Oh, yeah, Nano. Yeah. He's been supporting the channel for a minute. I appreciate you, man.
Man. Yeah, we got 30 people on the live right now. I appreciate you guys, everybody on YouTube and everybody on Facebook as well. We're on Purple and SKOL'd Media on Facebook. If you are on the Facebook Live, hit those stars, support us. All that money that we earn goes right back into the channel. Rap got a nice new little soundboard over there. He doesn't have it with him right now because he's in his car, but all that hard work and all your guys is super chats and stuff that all paid off for him. Absolutely. And it's helping all of us. So we appreciate that, man. So continue to support us.
I just gotta get Randy. I gotta get Randy on Triple P at 9 p.m. one night, man. You gotta
we gotta get you on a night shift, Randy. We gotta get you on a night shift.
I gotta get Randy on that curve session, man. You know what I'm saying?
We'll have 100 people in the live.
That curve session, man. Hey, Randy, you gotta ask him about that curve session, man. They get wicked over there,
man. Now you be holding it down. It's impressive, man.
Oh, man, it's going to be a great hate show with y'all.
Oh, you know that. I need to get him over there. You know what I'm saying?
No one's hating anymore. You're the one that gave him the lowest grade of the offseason so far. Calling us haters. We should be looking at you.
I'm a tough.
What you hating for? Look at that.
I'm a tough grader, man. I'm tough against my team, my guy.
You are tough, man. That's crazy.
It's wild.
But speaking on the running back situation, so Dalvin Cook, man, what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook? I know there's a lot to do with the post and pre-June 1st. I'm not sure on the details. Justin, in the background, feel free to tap in if you have the details on that. I know you're the capologist of the group. But what do you guys think is going to happen with Dalvin Cook, man? Are we going to trade him? Are we going to cut? Are we just going to ride it out? Are we, like you guys said, are we running it back with Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison? What you think, Randy?
I think they're just holding out hope that they can trade him because they can save more money in cap versus if they were to just release him. So I think they're just holding out hope for that. But the other side is I wouldn't be surprised if they say, let's run it back. I don't know what Kwesi is thinking right now. Sometimes when you think everything or some things are common sense, like, okay, let's address the interior offensive line. He turns around and says, let me sign a blocking tight end. So I have no idea what he's going to do, but I do think the common sense to this is they're trying to trade him. I would say the Buffalo Bills, they're the team to look out for if there is a suitor out there.
Okay.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Yeah, that does make sense. Good ass take on
that. Go play with your brother.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? That would be a good fit. That would be a good fit. Like, to me, you know how I feel about it, man. Randy and Rap, it don't get any better than that, man. Appreciate you, D. But look, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't forget my boy SK now. Don't act like my boy SK ain't on the screen now. Come on, D. You gotta do better than that now. Don't do that.
Oh, wow.
Don't do that, man. You rock with RSK.
Damn. On my channel? On my channel?
The disrespect. Nah, but we love you, D, for sure. We love you, man. We love you. But look, you know how I feel. You know how I feel, SK, for sure. Like, as far as Dalvin Cook, I just feel like he's still one of the better running backs in the NFL. And I'm the type, like, you're supposed to try to upgrade your team. So, like, if you get rid of Dalvin Cook, your running game is going to take a hit, regardless if we want to believe that somebody else will step in and beat Dalvin. I'm going to just keep it real, because, look, they didn't use Dalvin Cook correctly, man. Like, we got to think about that. And then let me throw this out there real quick, too. Listen, we talk about Kirk Cousins always getting hit, on his dropbacks. What do y'all think Dalvin had to go through? Man, them boys did not block for this man, bro. Like, he had no holes at all. And they were using him wrong, running him up there, running him up the middle. Like, that's not Dalvin. You got to know how to use him. I was expecting, and all of us, I believe, were probably expecting to see him a lot more in the pass game. And it didn't happen.
Yes.
I mean, but guess what? Think about the Washington game when they did throw him the ball, one-handed catch in the back of the end zone. We could have been seeing a lot more of that if they would have used him the right way, man. But, hey, I like Dalvin, and a lot of running backs are realizing that the market's not big. So, hey, maybe you got to come back down to earth and say, hey, man, I'm going to take the market pay right now, what all the other people are settling for as top running backs, because there's just no market for running backs. Like, they're not getting paid. So I think Dalvin's smart enough to understand that and know, like, hey, you're not about to go out here and get $16 million, bro. Like, it's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? So you might as well just take what we're going to give you.
I don't know. He has his agent talking smack on
his
Instagram.
Agent,
I don't know. He seemed pretty bold right now. So
his agent is like Adam Thielen's wife.
Bridges burning. Bridges burning.
Two things can be true, though. I agree that the blocking was terrible for Cook, especially inside. Right. He had to face a lot of hits in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage. I'll give you that. Also, I think he's lost a step. That quick agility that he used to have, it's just not there anymore. He was on par with guys like Kyler Murray as far as just turns the corner, but it looks like he's running in a straight line. He doesn't have that anymore. So, yes, the blocking wasn't great. At the same time, are you worth a $14 million cap hit at a position where it can easily be replaced? I think not. And they just brought back Madison. You cannot re-sign Alexander Madison and then at the same time, all right, we have two running backs past their rookie deals. I think he's gone, man. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's back.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, right? I mean, it looks like it's leaning towards him being gone. You know what I mean? It seems like it makes sense. I'm just saying, as a fan of just the game and realizing, like, you want to try to keep your good players. You know what I mean? Like, that's the name of the game, is to get as many good players as you can on your roster to make a run. Now, if they feel like, hey, this year isn't our year, we're just going to build off last year and maybe wait until we get our quarterback or whatever, then that's one thing. But if you're going into the season saying, hey, we're trying to go get this Super Bowl ring and win the division again, well, guess what? Dalvin Cook is a guy that's going to help you do that. You know what I mean? Like, I love Alexander Madison. SK, I know this your boy, but I swear to God, all I can remember from Alexander Madison is 2020
Don't say the Seahawks game.
Oh, come on.
It haunts me, bro. It haunts me.
3 years ago.
It
like 3 years ago.
Make the
bro,
cut.
One play. One play.
Over that game, bro.
One play.
One
play. But we're not gonna talk about the 100-yard games he does get when he does get the start, though, right?
He do.
Come on, man.
I like him.
So this is what my difference between Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison has always been, and that's the home run threat. Dalvin Cook provides the home run threat, obviously, and that's what he provided for the offense this year. He didn't necessarily put whole games together where he had 25 rushes for 150 yards like he did when he was younger. It's just we're not that type of offense anymore. He's not that type of back anymore. He's the guy that's going to get you the home run splash plays, and he needs to be a part of a running back committee. Now, when you're a part of a running back committee, whether you're running back 1, running back 2, I don't care which one you are, you can't be getting paid $14 million and have a quality spell running back behind you like Alexander Madison anymore, which he's not on his rookie contract, but he's still only 25 years old and the youngest running back in the running back room. So you have a guy back there that can still get you 100-yard games and put together a full game. Because Alexander Madison's a guy that you got to let wear on a defense. He's not going to be a guy that you give him a couple touches and he's going to have 40, 50 yards on the game. Now, he's had games like that, spelling Dalvin Cook before, don't get me wrong, but he's the guy that's going to wear defense down to where if KLC goes into a game and says, all right, guys, passing game's not going to be necessarily as successful. We're going to have to run the ball, and we're going to have to run the ball successfully and consistently throughout the game. Alexander Mattison can give you that. So it's not a knock against Dalvin Cook. It's just like Randy said, he's lost the step. Can he still do it? Can he still be an elite back? I still believe that. I still believe he has one more elite year in him. Well, the right time to trade him and get as much value as you possibly can for a guy that has one more elite year in him is now. So, yes, I don't necessarily disagree with you all the way, Rap, of, hey, if you're wanting to go on a run and consider yourself a Super Bowl contender and you have a position of running back that you want to fill, Dalvin Cook would be that guy. I would absolutely want that. But the thing is that the Vikings aren't in that position right now. We're in a position to where we're, what does Kwesi like to say, a competitive rebuild, whatever. I don't know what the saying is.
Because I was about to say, if you said that you feel like he has one more elite year in him being this year, why would you want to get rid of that? You know what I mean?
Because
like,
you always want to trade a guy a year before. A year before.
So we all can agree on this panel that we don't think we're going to be competing for a Super Bowl next year.
No. You never know. You never know within the season. Things happen.
I agree. I say no too. You know what I mean?
No, but I don't think
Kirk Cousins is our quarterback. It's a no for me. I'm gonna just keep it real.
Hey, second best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah. Okay.
I would put Kirk probably tied for second with Jared Goff in the NFC.
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah. But that's not. That also doesn't mean that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread either. It's just, the NFC is just a weak class. That's really all it is.
Kirk's broke my heart too many times. I'm done.
That's since we're talking about Kirk. That's my thing with Kirk. The thing is that with the fan base and when we talk about Kirk, it's always either one excessive or the other. It's never in between. Well, look, Kirk's a good enough quarterback, but there's these shortcomings. It's either I hate Kirk, I don't want him as my quarterback, I'm over it, or it's no, Kirk's my quarterback, you don't know football, Kirk is a great quarterback.
I disagree with you. You know why? Because I was that guy in the middle with Kirk. I swear to God, for years, I don't know, 3 years, I would always say, man, you know what? He's really good. He just needs the right supporting cast around him, good coaching. But there are these times where he has these brain fart moments where it's inexcusable. And all the times I could be kissing Kirk Cousins' ass. The one moment, if I say, I don't know about this, bro, the Kirk stands, they just come after me in droves. So I was that guy that's in the middle. However, Rap, we were talking about this before we started recording. I joined the dark side because, man, listen, that fourth and eight play against the Giants in the playoffs, everything's on the line. This dude just laid out a huge fart and checked the ball down. Are you kidding me? You get paid $35+ million a year, 40 mil to do what? To bleep the bed?
Exactly.
Man, I can do that for $50,000.
Exactly.
$35 million. Chill.
And let me throw this out there too, real quick. I went back and watched that play over again and over again. And this was a couple weeks ago. This is like only 2 weeks out. And did you know that he didn't even look anywhere else? Like, he didn't even look anywhere else, bro. His eyes went right to TJ Hawkinson, bro, and it stayed on TJ Hawkinson until he broke and threw that ball. Like, straight up. He didn't even look anywhere else. So I don't want to hear all the BS about he went through this read and that TJ was the only guy. No, you should have threw that shit up to JJ. I don't care if he was quadruple covered. You throw it to your best player. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
There's nothing else to talk about. I can't defend that anymore. Time to move on.
I would have took
next year.
I would have taken an interception or like him trying to force it somewhere over the check down. Just like it was like the worst possible ending to such an eventful season. Like I was there in person for it, and it was just like no life. Like it was just like
and we gotta love that. And we gotta love that. Like we gotta love that.
No, we don't have to love that. We don't have to.
No, it's okay. It's the defense fault. No, it's the defense fault. That's all it is. The defense is the reason why he threw the check down. You can't blame Kirk Cousins for that. That's what annoys me the most. Is that anytime he makes any sort of mistake,
deflect.
We crucify everybody else. But with Kirk Cousins, it's not his fault. You're being too harsh on him. It's not fair. The man is about to be 35 years old. When it comes to football years, this dude should apply for AARP savings. Like, come on, bro. It's over with. It's done.
And Kirk is the reason why when we have a 33-point comeback, Kirk did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the defense, the defense didn't hold the other team from not scoring any more points. Like that don't matter. You know what I mean? Like that don't matter at all. You know what I mean? Kirk just did that by himself.
Yeah, you gotta keep the same energy. Energy, man. But some people are just blinded by he can throw the ball, and it's like, no,
I can throw the ball. I can throw the ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's not just about your arm.
I gotta jump in. Randy, here's my analogy with Kirk. Imagine you're in high school and you're the band geek, right? Mm-hmm. And you see the football players and the basketball players dating all the 8s and 9s, and you stuck with the 3s and 4s. And then this 6 transfers from a different school, and she done been burnt by all those football and basketball players. So she wants to date you, the band geek. And you're like, okay, this is 6 is better than these 4s. This Kirk Cousins better than Case Keenum and Tavares Jackson and Christian Ponder. So why wouldn't I want to date this 6? And after a while, you start to convince yourself this 6 is really a 7.5, or she's almost an 8. And your buddies are like, nah, she's not a 4, but she's not no 8. She's a 6. And right now, half this fan base is so scared of giving up on this 6 girl that you've been dating for 5 years that you know ain't going anywhere. You know you're not. You move in with her, you rent an apartment, but you for dang sure ain't going to put a ring on it. But they're so afraid that if they toss this girl, that they're going to get back down to the 3s and 4s. So half the problem is that these Kirk stands just are so afraid of being stuck with another Christian Ponder 3 or a Tavares Jackson 3 or a Teddy Bridgewater 4. That's the analogy that I've always had. As you have said, prior to that 4th and 8, he's a good, not great quarterback. And he's train wreck proof. You're never going to win fewer than 6 or 7 games with Kirk Cousins. You're not going to be a 3-win team with him. So if you're objective, that's why Jared Goff is perfect for the Lions. He's not going to train wreck the Lions. When you're the Lions, you're happy being an 8, 9, 10-win team because that's good for you. But at some point, you got to be sick and tired of being done with a ceiling of the wild card or divisional round of the playoffs and once a decade getting to an NFC championship game, which is where we were before we got Kirk and where we have not been since. So I don't understand the stance, but that's my analogy. It's just like, let go of this comfortable 6. Okay. You can find yourself an 8. And if you have to go through a couple 3s and 4s before you find your 8 again, so be it. But why settle for that 6 and stay there? That's what I don't get.
That's part of the process. You know, you're not going to go, and we've accomplished all that we are ever going to accomplish with Kirk Cousins. So knowing that information, unless the front office sees that, well, maybe there's still a chance that we can get to a higher level, which I would say you're drunk, clearly. Let me take over the front office duties right now. But we've accomplished all that there is ever to accomplish with Kirk Cousins, so you have to move on. Otherwise, you're just settling. So I hope that they at least consider taking a quarterback in this draft. I mean, my guy's Hendon Hooker, but that's whatever. Or if it all goes to hell next year, the interior offensive line is crap, and Kirk Cousins gets sacked, the 3rd most times in the league again, then, hey, tank it out for Caleb Williams next year.
Facts.
That'd be lovely, right?
And be willing to accept the fact that whoever the next quarterback for the Vikings is, most likely isn't at the time we get him going to be as good as Kirk Cousins. See, they're who are you going to get that's better? I'm like, you can't have the mentality of you have to hold on.
Bro.
Like, hold on. You can't hold on to the mentality of we can't get rid of Kirk unless we have something better than him. No, at some point you might have to take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward. But no, we can't do that. We can't do that. It's not Kirk's fault. And like you said, Rap, ain't nobody say anything because I was at that game. Nobody said anything about the great job the defense did holding the Colts to 3 points in the second half while the Vikings put up 39. Okay.
Right.
Offensively. Yes. Offensively, after that 3 and out coming out of the locker room, because that's what they do after halftime is they always go 3 and out. Yes, they were unstoppable, but let's not pretend that the defense, they both had an equal parts in getting into that mess and they both had equal parts of getting out of that mess, but we only going to credit that.
Yeah. So
there's your warning there, SK.
So we're going to get a couple more comments, guys, before we wrap it up. We got kids and work and a bunch of stuff that we need to get to, but we definitely had to hop on and do our thing with Realistic Randy. Again, we appreciate Realistic Randy coming on Purple and SKOL'd Media. If you don't already, hit that subscribe button. I know a lot of you guys are over here from Rap's channel, so go ahead and go over to the Purple and SKOL'd media channel and press subscribe. We're going to have a lot more shows like this. Probably have Realistic Randy around a little more, and we got a little project we're working on.
Yeah, man. We getting Randy on. We getting Randy on more often, y'all. Don't worry, man. You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's in the afternoon.
Even if RAP got to be in the whip, man. Whatever we got to do.
It's dedication.
Yeah, so go ahead and throw up a couple more comments for us, Justin, before we get out of here. But before we get to those, make sure to obviously subscribe to the Purple and SKOL'd media channel, subscribe to Purple Pocket Podcast, and subscribe to Realistic Randy's YouTube channel as well. And then Purple and Gold for Days, our guy Justin behind the scenes doing all your comments and all that good stuff. So be sure to give him a subscribe as well. So we got one from D. Will. He says, who was the last offensive head coach? Ooh, he took it off. Who's the last offensive head coach who drafted a quarterback? Childress was T-Jack. Culpepper before that. That is why I'm waiting to see who KOC drafts. Okay, so we know he's a fan of Will Levis, right? There's been reports the guys love his hand size, and he has guys he used to coach with that are the offensive coordinator at Kentucky that are kind of giving him good words on Will Levis. Then you got obviously Anthony Richardson. I think if you had any chance at him, you have to trade in the top probably 7 or 6 to get him. I don't think that's possible. I think realistically you're looking at guys either Will Levis or a Hendon Hooker. So I'll ask you, Randy, first, and I'll get to you, Rap. Who should I know? Well, you already said, Randy. You said Hendon Hooker's your guy, right?
Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
I ain't gonna lie, and he kind of resembles Hendon Hooker too, Rand. Hey, that's your twin. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if we get Hendon Hooker,
maybe that's why.
You gotta cop that dude. You gotta cop that dude.
I just remember watching that Alabama game, and I just said, "Oh smokes!" Like that was wild what he did. The man was so poised, wasn't flabbergasted at all, and he just picked that defense apart. This dude's a beast, and I think it's because you know what just really annoys me is that we come up with these like situations to where what if? So Anthony Richardson, 54% completion rate in the same SEC that Hendon Hooker played in. But yeah, you know what? If he just gets the right coaching, if he gets the footwork before he throws the football, if he can get the accuracy, there's so many ifs. Hendon Hooker already addresses all of that, but he's old and he's coming off a torn ACL. I don't understand. I do believe that had he not got hurt with the torn ACL, he'd probably be a first-round pick. Had he not got hurt, he would be a Heisman finalist. This dude was a beast. Yeah. So for me, you want all the qualities as far as what you want in a starting quarterback. I think his floor is already so much higher than what you would get from a Will Levis or an Anthony Richardson. And his floor may be higher than those players' ceiling as well. So I would go with Hendon Hooker.
So y'all gotta hit that like button for that, man. Hey, Randy, over there, you feel me?
We'll do that question I just put up right now. So Randy, rate your top 6 quarterback prospects.
I think Bryce Young is the best. I'll go CJ Stroud after that, even though I don't feel great about him individually. Hendon Hooker, I'll go 3. Will Levis, just because I think he's better than Anthony Richardson, I'll put him at 4. And Anthony Richardson, why not 5? And after that, I'll go Jaron Hall out of BYU.
I like Jaron Hall too.
Because
yeah.
Okay.
I like him.
Him. Rap, what's your top 6 quarterback prospects?
So my top, I'm going to say Bryce Young for sure. Then I'm going to say Anthony Richardson. So me and Randy, we disagree.
Oh, God.
I just think Anthony Richardson, Richardson, like to be real, I think he's worth the gamble. Like he's a wild card player. The same draft profiles they said about Patrick Mahomes. You can go look it up. They said Patrick Mahomes couldn't throw. They said Patrick Mahomes was wild. He was trash. And guess what? Guess who we talking about? So I just feel like Anthony Richardson's worth the biggest game. Like he's worth taking a gamble on. So he's number 2. Then I would have to say CJ Stroud. I just don't trust Ohio State quarterbacks. Like honestly,
True.
The statistics are here. They always have good receivers, and they never have to make reads in college. They can just throw it to the top receiver in the nation, and that's how they always look like they're. So you got to think about it. Rest in peace to Haskins, but he threw for like 55 touchdowns in one season, bro, coming into the job. Like, they just always do good at school, but then when they get in the NFL, it doesn't work out. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'll put him number 3. Then I'm going to say Will Levis at 4, and then I'll probably have to say, no, actually, I'll put Hendon Hooker before, and then I'll put Will Levis at 5. And then as far as like the back of the second tier, I'm going to say DTR, man. I like DTR. I do like Jaron Hall, but I like DTR. I think I like DTR a little more. For sure.
Yeah. No, I can't necessarily disagree with that. I can't actually. I'm going Bryce Young. I'm going CJ Stroud. That's 1A, 1B. You can, regardless of what you want the size, go CJ Stroud. If you just, want the accuracy and just the overall quarterback play, go Bryce Young. Third. Oh man. I would. No. I would put. I got 2 1As and 1Bs, and I got 3A and 3B. Like, I think Richardson and Levis are on the same tier for me. You got the Will Levis, who's the prototype, Josh Allen, big, guy that can run, that has a cannon of an arm, but it's not accurate. You're going to have to work on him, in the NFL. It's going to take a couple years for him to come into his own if he does. Anthony Richardson, he's, your Patrick Mahomes prototype, has kind of this wild way of playing, gunslinger, can kind of run around a little bit and throw at different angles. So it's kind of what your cup of tea is, what type of quarterback you want. So I would put them on the same tier. I would say I'll go Will Levis 3, Anthony Richardson a close 4, Hendon Hooker 5, and that's strictly just based off him coming off that injury. I hate taking players in the draft that are coming off major injuries like that. Yeah. Prime example, Andrew Booth. Great player, but just can never stay on the field. And we see that this past season. Now, Hendon Hooker, I don't know his full injury history. All I know is this, ACL that he recently had. And you have Kirk for another year. So I think that is probably the best fit out of all of the quarterbacks, Hendon Hooker to the Vikings. So I would put him at 5. If it wasn't for the injury, he'd be in my top 3. And then at 6, it's between DTR and Max Duggan. And Max Duggan, I think, is just more of like that grit. He's got that gritty, like, if I got to put my head down and go get you a first down, I'm going to do it by any means necessary. And I'm a Michigan fan. I saw it firsthand when TCU beat our Michigan Wolverines rap. Yeah. I know that hurt both of us. But I think I might put Duggan right there at 6, just off strength, just off him, the will to win. And I like that. Stetson Bennett, you can put right there too. National championship 2-time.
Geez, that dude got carried. Don't talk about some damn Stetson Bennett. I don't want to hear about that dude. That's the biggest. That is the biggest gold I've ever seen.
He's a winner.
Okay.
And then DTR. I like DTR. I just don't like Kyler, and he reminds me too much of Kyler. I'm sorry.
Bro, Kyler Murray's a beast, though, bro. I don't know why you think
Kyler Murray's a dummy.
Kyler Murray led the NFL in complete. Hey, that same video that got Kirk ranked number 2. Go listen.
He was last in the NFL watching film, and that's what I don't want from my quarterback.
Go listen to what RG3 said about Kyler Murray, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good for RG3. I want my quarterback to study film. I want my quarterback to study film.
He is a little immature.
You get what I'm saying? Instead of playing Call of Duty. Maybe it's just
man,
me.
I know we got moves to make, man. We've been on for an hour, so.
Yeah, my kids are literally slamming on the door right now.
So again, appreciate you, Randy. Go and subscribe to the channels. Justin, thank you for tapping in and producing the show for us. Be sure to follow Purple and Gold for days over there on YouTube. Slap that subscribe to Purple Pocket Podcast and Purple and Skull for days, as well as Realistic Randy. So again, appreciate you guys. We'll chop it up soon. Peace out.
I'll at you.
Bye.
See you later.